I hear all the time, what is the cost of living in North Carolina? And I decided to do some digging, do a little bit of research for you and bring you some information. So my name is April. I'm coming to you from Charlotte's #1 relocation team in the area. And we're gonna talk today about the cost of living in the state of North Carolina. And I'm even gonna go into breaking it down for you into what cities are more expensive than others. So you're gonna definitely wanna stick around for this one. According to Rent Cafe, North Carolina as a whole, cost of living is 5% lower than the national average. That's pretty great. But how do they get that number? So they've looked into different categories: housing, utilities, transportation, and healthcare. Some of the biggest things that affect the way that we live and spend our money. Housing came in 14% lower than the national average. So even though we talk about how hot our market is and how well it's selling, it's still less expensive than some other states. Pretty impressive. When you get into utilities, we're only 2% lower, but we are still lower, and I take that as a good sign. Healthcare, though, 6% higher than the national average. Now, I don't know if that's because we have 80 million different hospitals around and a lot of healthcare in the research triangle, but we certainly have got a higher percentage across the board. That leaves us with transportation. We're coming in at 5% lower than the national average in transportation. When you look at all of those numbers, 3 of them are lower, 1 is higher, and it really does show you that North Carolina can be a very affordable state to live in. So when you're deciding to make the move here, how do you make the decision? Well, the first thing you do is you pick up the phone and you call Jeff or I, or you text us and you say, hey, #1 relocation team in the area, I want to work with you, help me find my next home. We can totally do that. We do work the Charlotte and Lake Norman area of North Carolina. I'm licensed in South Carolina, but we have team members all over, so we can help you no matter where you're going to. Let's talk about costs though, because if you're trying to make a decision on where you want to live in the state, this might actually help you quite a bit. Are you ready for the rundown? All right. Chapel Hill comes in 4% higher than the national average. Now, of the bigger cities that I chose, only one of them is above national average, and that is Chapel Hill. There are colleges there, there are doctors there, there are hospitals there. It's just a little bit more expensive. That goes hand in hand with our 6% higher for healthcare as a state. I thought it was very interesting, but not unbelievable. What I thought was more interesting were how many cities were lower than the national average. For me, that was just awesome, because I thought even though we feel like we're being squeezed right now in our everyday lives, North Carolina is still coming in more affordable. So let's talk about Asheville. Everybody tells me Asheville is so expensive, and Raleigh is so expensive, and Greenville is so expensive. All 3, Greenville, Asheville, and Raleigh, are coming in 2% lower than the national average. That's incredible to me. I have been told so many things about how people can't afford to live there, or they can't find housing, or, and I understand those situations. But to hear that even with all of that chaos, it's still coming in 2% lower, I was really happy about that. All right, now let's talk about Jacksonville. Jacksonville's coming in 3% lower than national average. That's great. It's a little bit smaller area, not as much population. Charlotte, very proud to say we are 3% lower than national average. That makes me very excited and very happy. I will be sharing that with a lot of friends and family members. When you look at Wilmington, now our numbers are going to start dropping. Wilmington is 4% below the national average. That's awesome. Fayetteville, 6%, which goes hand in hand with Hickory, North Carolina at 6%. If you've watched our other videos, you've seen that Hickory was once voted the most affordable city to live in North Carolina. Now, I've gotten some flack for that, and I think the reason is because there are other cities now that have beat that number. But at the time of the video, it was true and correct. So go check out that video and tell me what you think. The next one I want to cover is Winston-Salem. Winston-Salem is coming in at 6% below national average. It is very, very close to like Greenville, you can get over to Raleigh-Durham pretty easily. I'm sorry, Greensboro, not Greenville, but Raleigh-Durham very easily. And then it's not too terribly far from Charlotte. So I'm going to tell you the city that has the lowest percentage of beating the national average at a whopping 8% lower than the entire country. Burlington, North Carolina, which is nestled right next to Greensboro and Winston-Salem area. It's just there on the eastern side of it. It's a cute little town. My sister-in-law lives there. My son used to live there. It's beautiful. If you're looking for a place to live, give us a call. We've got team members that are ready to help you in that area as well. But if you're looking anywhere in the state of North Carolina or even South Carolina, give us a call. We would love to put you in touch with one of our team members that's going to truly care about you, because who you work with matters. Hope you have a great one. Talk to you soon.